Ciao a tutti, this is Simona Maga, and I'm excited to be a part of Humans of Telecom.
Hey everyone, a very warm welcome to Humans of Telecom, the Unplugged podcast. This is your host Anurag Aggarwal. As you all know, this is where we peel back the layers of the telecom industry, not just the technology and the titles, but the people, the paths, and the personal moments that have shaped some of the most inspiring leaders in our space. Well, and our guest today is one of those rare voices you don't come across often. A true global citizen, she's someone whose telecom journey has crossed borders, languages, and continents, and yet somehow she remains unmistakably herself. From starting out in the world of marketing in New York to now playing a central role in shaping mobile services at one of the industry's most respected names, hers is a story of bold moves, relentless curiosity, and a leadership style that is as energetic as it is human. For anyone who has crossed paths with her will agree, this person is instantaneously recognizable, thanks to a certain fiery redhead flair that becomes trademark wherever she goes. In our conversation, we hope to learn further on how this amazing individual is leading from the front, driving strategic initiatives, staying rooted in her values, and why being a proud single mom by choice may be one of the most powerful leadership decisions she's ever made. So, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Simona Maga, Head of Sales and Operations at 𝘂𝗀𝘀, a passionate telecom professional, a global citizen, and a leader who's shaping the future of mobile services with both vision and heart. Simona, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of this journey. We'd love to hear more about you. Which part of the world do you belong to? And from where are you joining this podcast today?
Wow, Anurag, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I feel like I need you to carry you around to introduce me everywhere I go. Joke aside, I'm truly honored to be part of this podcast. Thank you for inviting me and for creating this space where we can talk not only about telecom, but also about the human story behind it. I really appreciate this opportunity. Today I'm in Rome because I'm based in Rome. Let's say my history and my origin are from the northern part of the country, in a little town close to the French border. Okay, as you said, I've been living in several countries, several realities due to the work of my dad. That was really a curious guy. It was like he used to call himself as citizen of the world, and inspired me during all my life.
Wonderful, Simona. It is amazing to have you here. So, while you are originally from Italy, and yes, I know that you've been centered around this country, but I do know that you've actually moved around quite a bit. So, let's hear your journey and your story. And how did you get into the world of telecom?
Yes, basically when I was like a teenager, due to my father's job, it was like working in finance for an IT company called 𝗀𝗵𝗿𝗀 that maybe some of you still know. We moved to Brazil, and that was like in the middle of the 80s. And that for sure was not so common. And again, I was a teenager with my plan of life, my friends. So we suddenly moved to a new reality. So I had to start all over again. But that has been a great experience because we moved to São Paulo in Brazil. After 2 months, I was able to speak the language. I met new people. And again, always the example was my father that was always like so curious about the culture, about the world, and is inspiring me a lot. Then from Brazil, we moved to Switzerland, a slightly different reality, closer, of course, to my hometown. And there, basically, I started to live alone when I was 17 because my father moved to Australia, my mom back to Italy. So that has been, for sure, a nice experience. And back to Italy, that I made some, the university. I started to work in Italy for an international company. And then since, my father from Australia moved to the US, I did an MBA there, and I started to work in New York in a totally different environment compared to telecom. That was like the coffee industry. So I was working for a company called 𝗺𝗵𝗿𝗄. And was fun because the food industry is like is fun. It's fun. It was like a nice experience. And then after a while, I realized that I wanted to change, to do something different. So I had like several interviews, and then I have the opportunity to move back to Italy, to move to Rome. That is a complicated but wonderful city. And I started my journey in telecommunication that has been last for, 25 years. In November will be 25 years. And and for sure, telecommunication mix like several experience that I have in terms of, dealing with different culture, the possibility to deal with different reality, the technological part has been challenging, and basically my job has been changing, has always been improving, and I do it with passion because really I like what I do on a daily basis. So for sure I've been lucky, and for sure the example of my father has been really inspiring me in all what I did up to now.
Interesting, Simona. That's quite a journey so far already. It's spanning across not one, not two, but three continents. And, three such diverse cultures being between the US, between Latin America, Switzerland, and Italy itself, I know, are quite diverse in their cultures. So,
Yeah.
in a way, even within Europe, you've actually moved around to different cultures. And in this entire impactful journey of yours, there must have been a few moments which must have been special to you. So, is there some specific memorable moment you'd want to share with our listeners?
But for sure, in my case, what made the difference is when I started to work in the roaming department, okay? Because roaming really was allowing me to bring together all my experience, the different countries where I was like, I've been living, the different type of study that I have in Brazil, in the US, in Switzerland, and the possibility to work in a global company. Again, as I said, I'm curious. I like to know people. I like to learn. And I believe that the roaming environment has been helping me to increase and improve, my knowledge, my vision of the world. So for sure, that has been a great opportunity and a fantastic challenge for me. And since then, we have been able internally and externally to build up, several services that really helped me to become what I am. Okay, so for me, that has been a fantastic moment and a great experience. Really, the moment of merge of how I was like feeling as a person with the work that I was doing.
Wonderful. I think that's been an interesting journey. And while we've discussed so much about your telecom side, Simona, let's now shift gears and talk a bit more about your personal side, your human side. So while so many of us interact with you, I've myself interacted with you in so many of the WAS conferences and so many other places. But if there is something that people around you don't know about you, something shocking about Simona, what would that one thing be?
When I was like a teenager, I wanted to become a painter. When I was living in Brazil, I was taking classes. I won several, surprise related to the painting, and I was really inspired in doing that. I wanted to become also an architect, but then suddenly I changed my mind, and I decided to study economics. But the artistic part is like still present in my life, and is helping me to see things in a different way, and in sometimes to be able to think outside the box. So for sure that creative part is still present in me, and unfortunately, I was not able to become a painter. Maybe in the near future, when I will relax and I will like maybe have more time for myself, I will regain, this like this part of my life that I've been lost in the last period. But that for me really was like a nice experience, and I really like it a lot to paint.
Interesting. I think you're very right that our different aspirations and some of our passions impact us in other spheres of our life without us even realizing it. And you're right, even your flair and your interest into painting would be something that will go a long way into bringing a creative bent of mind. And that helps in producing creative solutions in our everyday world, which just makes things better around us. So totally get that.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I agree. For sure was like an important part of my life. Let's see again, as I said, maybe when I will be retired, if this will ever happen, and I will love again to start again for sure.
Wonderful. And painting is one such passion I see that you have. But what else do you do today to recharge yourself? I mean, today you're not retired, and I don't see that
No, of
coming in
course
the near
not.
future.
No.
So what do you do to recharge yourself, and what fuels your interests?
I move my body a lot. I go to the gym on a daily basis, sometimes also twice per day if I can make it, and basically moving is a kind of meditation. So I'm an active person. I'm what is called a multitasking, and that helps me to relax and to regain energy, to be able to afford the daily challenge that we have. And then I love to travel. Okay, and for this reason, I love so much this work. Because it gives us the chance to travel a lot. But on a personal perspective, I love to travel. I love to meet new people, because again, traveling is not just to see a monument, but is to learn the culture of the population, to eat the food, to spend time with the people, to talk with them. And because there are so many variety of situation, and we are just a little part of a big world, so that moment really for me can make the difference. And this is what I'm, for instance, trying to learn to my daughter, to be curious and to be open to the world. And that really helps me to regain energies, okay, and to see things and to do things in a different way.
Absolutely. I think curiosity is something which keeps us all young and kicking. So I think that's a wonderful thought that you shared with your daughter, and I can totally resonate with that. All right. And on that note, we come to a very interesting part: two truths and a lie. Three statements for us, which are all going to be extremely interesting and exotic.
Okay.
And I'm going to have the difficult part of trying and guessing which one of them is a truth and which one of them is a lie. So, do you have three such statements for us today?
Yes. Okay. I once attending a cooking class in Chongqing where no one spoke English, including the instructor. The second one, I've been driven a motorbike through the street of Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam. And I'm not good in singing, but I once sang in front of 200 people attending a party. Tell me, which one is the true and where I'm lying?
All right. So, I see that you're saying that you attended a cooking class in China where no one spoke the language of English. You have possibly ridden a motorbike in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. All right.
Yes,
And
exactly.
you have sang in front of 200 people live. Okay, let's see.
Also, if
Uh,
I'm not good in singing, okay? I tried also in the church, but I was not good at all. I was not good at all. Is not for me.
uh-huh.
Okay.
All right. So let me believe that knowing your passion and boldness, you did sing in front of 200 people, and I'm sure you must have done really well. And I actually feel that, your motorbike story in Ho Chi Minh would actually be a very interesting one. But just for the sake of this question, I'm going to presume that's a lie. And I'm going to presume that the first one, that you attended a cooking class in China, is also a truth. So the first and the third one are true, and the second one is a lie. So am I right out here?
Absolutely, yes.
Oh,
Because yeah, you're totally right. Because Ho Chi Minh, I don't know if you have been there, is a nightmare. I had serious problem in crossing the street. I will never try to ride a motorbike in that city or in Vietnam in general. Maybe now the situation is better. I was there a couple of years ago. Beautiful country, but complicated situation. And again, I'm used to Rome, that where traffic is not simple, but Ho Chi Minh was more complicated. Okay, good job. You did a good job. Yeah.
okay. That's interesting. And yeah, I know I have also been to Ho Chi Minh, so I know how it is like, how Vietnam in general is. So I can totally get the possible sense of chaos that you felt around you.
Yeah.
And what about the cooking class in China? How was that experience?
No, it was nice and fun because again, we took like an international class in China with my MBA. So we spent time in the school, and during the weekend we were spending time with the families of the student of the school. So that was a great experience, and we are talking about 98. Okay, so China was slightly different compared to the current reality of the country. So spending time with the family was just great. And the cooking class, not knowing even what word, was like quite challenge, but was fun. And the student, they help us a lot. Okay, at the end, let's put it this way: we learn a couple of word, but has been a kind of challenging experience, but was fun. Let's say that all these like 1 month and a half in China has been a great experience for my group, So that has been a nice a memory of my past life. Let's put it this way.
Awesome. And how about singing in front of 200 people? I'm guessing that experience went well.
Okay, again, I'm not good and I'm shy. Put it in this way, of course, that part, I've been working on it because being shy and working for the job that I do is not exactly the right match. But yes, now I feel slightly different. And singing in front of 200 people has been, let's say complicated, but then that was fun, okay? The quality of my voice is not good. That didn't change, but at least I challenged myself, okay? And I made it. So, that was for sure a great result.
I'm sure, Simona, that would have been a very interesting experience of 200 people live. I think they must have totally enjoyed that live performance.
Yes.
And on that note, we come to the last question of this section. If there's one thing you could change about your life, what would that one thing be?
No, I'm happy about my life, and for sure, I will never change my idea of becoming a mother. Okay. As you said, I'm a single mother by choice, meaning that I decided to have a daughter alone. And for sure, that has been one of the most important decision of my life. And I'm so happy about that. My daughter, she's fantastic. She's curious. She's so fun, and makes me really proud of her every single day. For sure, at the beginning, was not such a common decision, especially in Italy. But I can tell you that has been the best one of my life.
Awesome. And I think in our industry, and I think in general in the world around us, there are so many single parents who are living a life of very enriching experiences with their children. And I've often seen on this podcast, there are guests who are comfortable enough to share certain aspects about their life, and that resonates with so many other people in the industry. And, then there are conversations which they reach out to each other. So thank you so much for sharing something personal with us.
Mm-hmm.
And I really hope that also gives people around further inspiration to, lead lives in the fullest form in whichever way their lives are. So thank you for sharing this part of your journey.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. And on that note, we come to the last part, our sign-off section. What does being human mean to you? What sort of a human being would you want the world to remember you as?
Being human for me means to be strong, but also kind. Okay, because again, life can be really hard, but we should always be gentle with the other people, but mainly with ourselves. And what I'm trying to teach to my daughter, also, she's like just 10, is like that life is not a race, and there is always like time to grow and to start again. Life is long and we always have a chance. Okay, so that is basically my approach. So I believe that again, we need to be kind, we need to be tough sometimes, but we have to keep on fighting in a nice way, especially with ourselves. To be nice with ourselves.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Firstly, as they say, your competition is with you yourself only. So, that's what one needs to look at. And at the same time, it's also important to be compassionate with your own self. As they say, charity begins at home. So while you often talk about being kind to people around you, I think first and foremost, it's extremely important that you're kind to your own self. And that just reflects in the interactions that you have with the rest of the world. So totally resonated with that again, Simona. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. And with that, Simona, we wrap up a very interesting conversation. So thank you so much for your time. It was really nice to hear your very frank and honest statements about life, about your background, your journey so far. And I do hope that the listeners who are listening to this, they can also take some aspects of this. So thank you so much. And I do hope that we cross paths at some time.
Yes, thank you very much to allow me to be part of this fantastic project.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Simona. And to all our wonderful listeners here, thanks a lot for tuning into the show. We hope this episode gave you a good glimpse of the human side of Simona Maga, a proud single mother who comes from a small Italian town but has now worked across 3 continents and is a true global citizen. Someone who has had teenage ambitions of becoming a painter and is now channelizing that creativity into her everyday life. Someone who loves to keep herself fit through a very active life and which shows when you meet her, and someone who's a traveler at heart and a bold and a passionate leader. That for us is Simona Maga. So, if you enjoyed today's episode, do stay tuned in because we shall soon be releasing yet another episode and another compelling story from the telecom space. And do follow the podcast on your preferred streaming channel. On behalf of Humans of Telecom, this is your host Anurag Aggarwal signing off for now. Take care.